I recently did a training at a networking group with a group of business people, and the topic was the art of networking. And it is just such good information for anyone who's really wanting to build their business in any industry at any capacity. Learning how to network is about learning how to connect with people, build trust, authentic relationships rather quickly so that you can spread your reach across multiple different circles and grow your business beyond what you could ever do by yourself. So I want to kind of start off by telling a story. I've been networking for years and years, for probably 30 years. And I've moved to different locations across the country and built my business all over the place. And so in my early days, one of my first networking ideas and experiments was I thought I'd do this thing called Operation Occupation, where I was looking for women of all different occupations to be in my portfolio. And I was just looking to meet people. And so I went to different offices and I met women, and it was wonderful. And at the end of the day, my goal was to meet 10 women, and I had only met 8, and I was tired, and it was the end of the day. And the person that I was with said, "No, we said that we were going to get 10, and I have an idea. We're going to give blood." And I was like, "What?" And they said, "Women are there. We could totally do this, and it'll be for a good cause." And so we went and gave blood, and I got my last 2 leads, and the rest is history. Well, the good news is you don't have to give blood to build your business. And there are other ways. And over time, I learned how to be very strategic in meeting people. And so I want you to remember that there this is about building relationships. And so some things take more time than others. And so I'm going to give you 5 key things that I highly recommend that you do when you're really starting to develop that art of networking, okay? And understanding that some things are going to take time, some things can happen right away. Some things are in your control, some things are not in your control. So let's look at these 5 key points. Number 1, the first thing is know your 30-second commercial. Know your 30-second commercial. And this is like what they've called the elevator pitch, and how you say what you do in a very short period of time. And I would even say if you could get it below 30 seconds, people's attention span is like 2 seconds now. And so you really want to work at getting it tight. And so how do you do that? And what are the elements of this elevator pitch? Well, the first thing is you want to know exactly who your target market is. Who is that person that you're marketing to, that ideal client? Now, many of you do a lot of different things, and maybe you offer a lot of different services. And so you're going to want to narrow it down to your most common denominator of clients. Who is this person? What are they? Where do they live? What do they look like? What do they do? Kind of describing them in some way in this pitch. Okay, so who you're looking for, and keeping that in mind when you're describing what you do. Because remember, when you're networking, not only are you connecting with that person that you're talking to, but your hope is that they'll refer you to someone, or what you say sparks a thought in their mind of, "Oh, I know someone like that." Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is you're going to want to narrow down what is that pain point that you fix, the need that you meet. And it's always solving a problem. And so where do you fit in so that people really need your services? What is it that you fix? And so you want to get that down. And those are the 2 main things. And then you can always tie in kind of your motto, or what you're known for, kind of your expertise. So those are some elements in practice. Get people to listen to it. Pitch it to a friend, a colleague, so your husband, wife, so that you can really play around with it and get other people's feedback. But get it. Don't put it off. Don't say I'm working on it and put it off, because this is so important. Okay, the second thing is you'll want to have 3 to 5 circles of influence. These are 3 to 5 different places that you go, or different groups or things that you're working with and doing to grow that network. Okay, so here's a first example. One would probably be those that are in your industry. You're going to want to connect with those people because sometimes they aren't going to be able to help a client and you can. You're going to learn things from them, and you might meet other people through them. Again, it's really good to collab with those people that are in your industry. And it's not necessarily how you're going to meet people, but it is a way to learn what are they doing to network? Where are some places that they're going? Where is it that maybe you see they're dropping the ball that you could pick up, or things they don't do that you do? The second group, the second circle would be your actual target market. Where are they? Where do they frequent? Where, like, maybe you are starting a wine business and you want to go to different wine shops and do wine tastings, or, those are examples of places that you could partner with that have your demographic showing up. Moms groups, different venues that are doing events that would draw in the crowd that you're looking to meet. Okay, so that would be the second. The third would be groups. I highly, highly recommend networking groups, because what happens in those networking groups is each person in that group, let's say you're involved with a networking group of about 20 people. Each of those 20 people know hundreds of people you don't know. And as they get to know you and you build a relationship with them, you're building a relationship with them, not necessarily to network with, not necessarily to get that particular person to do business with you. You're building a relationship so that you too could have a reciprocal relationship where you could possibly each give each other business. So sometimes the mistake that people make when they're in a networking group is they're trying to pitch to the people in the group, when the whole point of the group is actually getting to know each other so that we have access to each other's circles of friends, families, and clients, colleagues, etc. So remember that when you are looking for a group, and don't prejudge the people in the group, because again, it's about who they know and how involved they are in their community versus how they could actually use your services. So really think about that when you're talking to those people in the group and actually a part of the group or looking at a group to join. Okay. The other circles would sometimes be seasonal. Like maybe there's certain events and venues that you would go to network, and sometimes, and another is referrals, of course, networking through the referrals of your existing happy clients. Find ways that they're rewarded to send you people. So those are just some examples. Okay, the third point in becoming a master at networking is finding connectors, finding those people when you do go out and about, when you are at different venues and events. Be sure to watch who are the people that know everybody, who's working the room, who's the most social, who's the most outgoing. And let's say you're at even a social event, a party that's just, like you're doing this socially, it's not even business. And you might meet people there that you could strike up a conversation with, and they're just naturally people who are like, oh, I know so-and-so that could probably use your services, or and they just know everybody. Those people, oh my goodness, I'm telling you, I probably had, throughout my 30+ year career, I've probably had 3, 4, 5 people that I've met that I could trace back every single one of my consultants and clients to that person, to those 5 people, because they introduced me to these different circles of people, like 5 or 6 people that branched me out into all these other circles. And so you don't have to be a super outgoing person. You don't have to be that person that talks to everyone everywhere you go. I'm not that person. And I was able to build all across the country because I knew how to network with the right people, those connectors. Okay. Fourth thing is givers gain. I love this quote, and it says, the currency of real networking is not greed, but generosity. The currency of real networking is not greed, but it's generosity. That's how you are able to get lots of clients, is by being generous with your leads and with your giveaways and rewards when someone refers someone to you. And so remember that givers gain is the other concept of this phrase is when you're out and about and you're meeting people, ask them what they do. Find out how you can help them. Get to know them. Ask questions. Become a master at asking questions. Be that person that when you're connecting with someone, you know more about them than they know about you. Because people love to be heard, they love to be seen, and they love being around people who like them, who are interested in them. And so when you're talking with someone, find the interesting things about them. Because also, what's really cool, what I love is that as they start talking and I ask questions, I love when I can find a connection with them to where I go, you know what? I know someone that you need to know, or whatever it is. And so that also builds trust because what happens is that person starts to see you as a person. They're not looking at you at trying to get business from them. And I hope you really hear me on this because sometimes we can hear these concepts and you're looking for that quick fix or that thing that you can do to get quick business. When all of these things are layers that you add and layer on top of each other so that you can long-term last in business. You want to go for this for the long haul, and you're really looking at the long game when you're networking and not that immediate yes, that immediate hit. You want to build relationships, build trust as you connect with people and you meet them, you get to know them, you laugh, you find out about them just personally, and then naturally and organically the conversation comes up and people want to help people who help them. And so definitely remember that phrase of givers gain. Okay, so the next number 5, last one is show up. The best way to network is when you show up. And when I mean show up, I mean like show up. Like you come in and you be the light in the room. You be that positive person that smiles and greets people and that you're full of energy without taking over the room, without saying too much, that you're just positive and inviting and comfortable to be with, that you show up looking your best. And it doesn't mean that you have to be in a 3-piece suit or you have to be in a dress or anything like that. Dress according to your business and that it's appropriate and it's clean and tidy and professional for your industry. Because first appearance, I mean, that first impression, I mean, that's important. And people take that into consideration of who they're going to do business with. If you look disheveled, you don't look organized or reliable. It's just, it's just the way it is. And so you really want to make sure that you are showing up that way, that you're on time and you honor your word. I know these things are a given, but what's the word I'm looking for? That quality is so important as time has gone on. And in our present day, people really look for people that they can rely on, that they can trust, and that's in it for their good, and that's in it for the long haul, that they under promise and over deliver, and that they are the best at what they do. And so you want to show up ready. Having your business card are ways that it makes it easy for them to do business with you. And so those are, again, the top 5 things that I could tell you to really use when you're networking, and understanding that all of them are layers upon layers upon layers because it is a process. And some things work right away and some things take a little bit more time. But remember that the golden rule of networking is simple. Don't keep score. Be careful of judging an event or a networking group right away with what you get. You want to give it time so that they can build trust towards you and build that connection with you. And sometimes you're going to be giving a lot more leads to people around you and helping other people with their businesses. You're going to be doing a lot more of that than what you're getting. But I'm telling you, everything that you put into the lives of others always comes back to you full circle, but more abundantly. So just remember that it's in that generosity and it's in that not keeping score is when you are going to get more than you ever put out over time. You really are. And so I want to challenge you with a few things because I always love giving you a little homework after I do a little bit of training. So the first thing is, please write that 30-second commercial. Set up a time that you will just write and write, and then edit until you really have that sound bite. And then the second thing is, I want you to figure out, what are your 3 to 5 circles? Have you been relying on only one way to network? So start branching out, because sometimes things dry up, sometimes they're seasonal, and you always want to really diversify in the way that you meet people. So figure out what your 3 to 5 circles are. And then the third thing is, schedule a one-on-one with a connector. Think about it. Think about people, your neighborhood neighbors, different people that maybe you've done business with in the past. Set up a coffee with them. Do a one-on-one with somebody who is successful in their business and are connectors. They know a lot of people and they've got some depth in their circle, where you can just start to get to know them, and then who knows where it will lead. So to you, happy networking.